Hi all, we're back again, Wednesday. It's always quite hard to remember the day of the week, but the weather is amazing, isn't it? It's back again. Well, I hope it is with you anyway. I was out in the garden with Alfie this morning, having a lovely morning. What are we talking about today? Well, first of all, got to mention Friday. Friday, slight changes there. First of all, we're starting at 11:15. It's VE Day, so it's a bank holiday Friday. Not that that makes any difference to most. So I'm going to carry on, but we're going to start at 11:15. 11:15. We've put that on the actual slide for the talk, but it'll be 11:15, but run in the same way. Our street, as I'm sure many are, will be doing a little get-together, etc. So there won't be a Friday evening game. So I'm sorry about that. There will not be a Friday evening game this week, but there will be in the future, and I am hoping that I might be able to get a microphone and talk, but we'll see how that goes. So that'll be in a week on Friday. So there's no Friday Teams match this Friday because of VE Day activities and the seminars starting at 11:15. I've also got a little mention for Helen's grandmother. So we had a Zoom meeting with Helen, Alfie, grandmother and various members of the family. Her grandmother is 101 and going strong. Believe it or not, she still lives in her own house. So there are various complications with the social distancing and all sorts. But she seems to be doing well, so that's a bonus. Okay, so what are we talking about in terms of bridge? We've got not the rule of 7. So a lot of people ask questions about that. So we're going to stick with the same subject, but look at hands where maybe the rule of 7 doesn't come up. Expression double dummy, some alerting, and then a couple of test hands for you to see if you've taken in the last few days. So let's start with that quiz as always. Here you go. I'm hoping it wasn't too bad. It's an opening bid. You're non-vulnerable against vulnerable, and you have 8 spades to the ace king, and you've got to decide what to do. And that takes me on to a bit of the seminar. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. So here we go, and the first hand you're going to see here is very much what we talked about in the last few days, holding up. You'll notice it's 3 no trumps. We're then going to look at a 1 no trump contract and notice that actually the rule of 7 isn't going to be so valuable possibly in 1 no trump contracts. So let's start with this one. Okay. The King of Hearts is led. How do you feel about that? So what we would do is do our usual things of counting top tricks, and the good news is that most people, I think, are getting 7 and 2 tricks from spades, so it should be relatively easy here. 7 top tricks and 2 tricks from spades. Okay, 7 top tricks and 2 tricks from spades, but as we've said before, we've got the worrying about the defence. You've got your top tricks, your increasing tricks, and then you're worrying about the defence. We are worried in 3 no trumps so often about a 5-card suit. Bear in mind, if you had 2 aces to lose, you would be worried about a 4-card suit. Okay, that we're going to see similar in a moment when we look at 1 no trump contracts. Here, you hold up in hearts, and the rule of 7 would work. Okay, 7. You count your number of hearts, you've got 6 of them. Remember, the King of Hearts has been led by the opponents there. Okay, so you've got 6 hearts, 7 minus 6 equals 1. You hold up for 1 round. So the rule of 7 works on this first hand. We're worried about a 5-card suit. Why am I not worried about a 4-card suit? Well, if they've got 4 hearts, my ace kills one of them, so they can only win 3 heart tricks and the ace of spades. If they have 5 hearts, my ace kills one of them, they can make 4 hearts and the ace of spades. So let's just look at the full hand. Okay, and as we've said, if the ace of spades is with the lovely hearts, there's nothing we can do. What we're doing is giving ourselves an extra 50-50 chance by holding up so that one opponent is out of hearts. So we duck the King of Hearts and win the Queen like that. So I've taken the first 2 tricks away. South has no hearts left. Okay, so we're going to make at least 9 tricks as it happens. If you get the play right, you might make 10, but that's not particularly relevant. Okay, the point is here that you've cut North off. North's got some lovely hearts, but he's clearly got no entries to them. Okay, so let's change it. Okay, similar type of hand here, but you'll notice you're in 1 no trump. You're in 1 no trump. Now, I'm hoping that, well, we've got 5 top tricks, so it's not bad. 1 no trump contracts are notorious for having very few. You're going to come across one in a moment where you're just going to have 2 top tricks. You know, and that's why a lot of people find 1 no trump difficult, because it can involve a lot of planning. Here, though, it's not so bad. You've got, in fact, I've set it up, I hope, to be very similar to the last hand. You've got 5 top tricks, and you can make 2 more tricks from spades. Okay? So this is where it becomes tricky. What I want you to do here is try and make a full plan. So this is the execution phase. We're worrying about the defense. Clearly, we're worried about hearts. But what I want you to try and work out is, what are you worried about in hearts? Okay. So have a little think there. Okay, let's have a look. We've got to count our losers, and that's the key here. You've just got to make sure you haven't got too many losers. Are you worried about a 5-card suit, or are you worried even about a 4-card suit? And if we look it up, we're going to hold up in hearts, yes, definitely, but how long for? And Andy's come up with a good answer there. Okay, we have 4 losers outside of hearts. So if we lose 3 heart tricks, we're going to go down. So just to make that clear, you've got ace, king, queen of clubs and the ace of spades. I hope everybody can see that. Now, they won't always take them, but let's assume they can see them. Let's assume this term double dummy, which I'll talk about later. If you lose 3 hearts, you're going to go down, which means you're worried about a 4-card heart suit. Can you see that? So therefore, I'm going to hold up a little bit longer. I'm worried about a 4-3 break. Now, it's not going to be worth much because there's 4 winners, but sometimes those 4 winners will be in the same hand. And on this, obviously, I chose the hand, so I've set it. But South has the ace, king, queen of clubs and the ace of spades on this one. So if I manage to cut him off from his partner, it'll do. But the rule of 7 won't work because I'm not so... Clearly, I'm worried about a 5-card suit, but I'm also worried about a 4-card suit. Can you see that? Okay, so let's put that into action here. Have a look at the hand. North has got the king, queen, jack, 10 of hearts. If I follow the rule of 7 and take the 2nd heart, well, of course, South still has a heart left. Can you see that? Now, you only lose 3 hearts, and usually you wouldn't be worried about that in 3 no trumps. But here, 3 heart losers added to South's 4 winners means you would go down. Okay? So declarer needs to duck twice to cut North off. Can you see that? You've left the jack of hearts in the North hand. South can make all of his winners, but he doesn't make the jack of hearts. So it's about from hand to hand. And there will be 3 no trump contracts where you are worried about 4-card suits, particularly actually playing pairs bridge. So you do have to bear that in mind as well, where you might be aiming for 10 tricks, you know, or aiming for a few more. Okay, so that was that first one. Here you've cut them off, okay, and you've cut the jack of hearts off. Clearly, if you'd only held up once, South would have still had a heart to lead. Okay, have a look at this one. King of clubs lead. On the previous hand, Tony's asking, what are the chances? Well, you've got no other chance if they're not. What are the chances that the ace, king, queen of clubs are in one hand and the ace of spades? Well, if they're not, you go down. So it's as simple as that. Okay, so what you're trying to do is give yourself a chance. Otherwise, you're going to lose 3 heart tricks and you're going to lose the ace, king, queen of clubs and the ace of spades. So it's not a big shot, but it's your best chance. Okay, and the key is if you cut one hand off, they might go wrong as well. Remember, they won't necessarily be able to cash all their winners, so you never know. Okay, that's all you're trying to do, cut them off. Now, as I say, this is the reason why a lot of people hate one no trump, because it can be really hard work. 2 top tricks is all you've got. Okay, now I'm hoping you all added that up. Remember, that's why we don't add up for the hearts and diamonds yet. 2, we've got a lot of work to do. Let's see if we can put that work in. Can you conceive of a way of making 5 more tricks? And that's what I want you to do before you play to trick 1. I want you to try to conceive of a way. If you can't, remember, playing duplicate, going 1 off might be a good score. So here I'm hoping there are 2 easy tricks from hearts. There are 2 easy tricks from diamonds, and you've got a subtly good club suit, haven't you? Always interesting this, because we're thinking about ducking all the time, but I've given you the 10, 9, 8 of clubs. So as long as your ace kills an honour, so let's say you killed the king, you've still got the 10, 9, 8 to make a trick. So you do have a second stopper there. Okay, so that actually would all add up to 7 tricks. I mean, you might have a chance of making 3 diamonds, no doubt about it, but I think you've got a chance of making an extra club. And don't forget, your opponents can't see your cards, and we'll talk about defence, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. Okay, but I mean, you know, you might think, oh, I'll win the ace, but I'm sure they'll switch. They won't necessarily switch. Quite often, I would say 90% of the time, they'll carry on. So let's make that plan. Okay, we're going to win the ace. Okay, and I think we now feel relatively comfortable. So let's see. Okay. So we play a diamond to the jack or queen. Jack's quite nice. South wins it. Okay. Now we're going to look at different defences or whatever, but South leads a club back. Completely normal defence from my point of view. And North is hopeful that his queen and jack will drop the 10 and 9, and hopefully the 8 as well. Everybody has, and he'll make his suit. But of course, he doesn't know that when he plays the queen and jack, he establishes R8. Okay, so that's the situation we're in. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see the number of tricks. The opponents have made 3. You've only made 1 so far, I'm afraid. But you have established 2 extra diamonds. So you think you're home now. You've actually thinking, well, if I knock out the ace of hearts, I've got my 7 tricks. Is everybody happy with that? But you're not on lead, and you've probably worked that out. And it's North to lead. Okay, so North leads ace spade. And you have to think. And of course here, when you're in the middle of the hand, you have to go through it individually. You can't be using rules of 7 or anything like that, as someone said last time, and myself, guideline of 7. But here, you've got to decide, what am I worried about? So, we have lost 3 tricks. We are going to lose the ace of hearts. That is 4. So you are worried about losing 3 spade tricks. Can everybody see that? So if the suit breaks 4 and 3, and to be honest, that 2 of spades almost suggests that. North might have 3 of the spades, he might have 4 of the spades. But, you know, it looks like, because I think if North had 2 and South had 5, North would have led high-low. So I have a feeling the spades are 4 and 3, and if I wait until the 3rd round of spades, I've got the chance that the player with the ace of hearts does not have the last spade. Does that make sense? Okay, so here again, what you're doing is trying to work out how to play the suit later in the hand. So we're going to duck twice, win the ace of spades, and then play the king of hearts. And we're hoping that the ace of hearts is not with a spade. So remember, the rule of 7 only works when you're worried about 5 card suits. So very often late in a hand, and it can be in 3 no trumps as well, you won't be worried about a 5 card suit, you'll be worried about a 4 card suit. Okay, so let's have a look. You can only afford to lose 3 more tricks. Okay, and that's the key. You've already lost 3 and you're going to lose the ace of hearts. So the ace of hearts and 2 spades is all you can manage. So you let them have 2 spades and then win the 3rd. So let's do that. So you duck twice and you win the 3rd round of spades. Let's look at the hand. This is where we're in the hand. North has switched to a spade. Okay, and they knock out your ace. And as long as you wait to the 3rd round of spades, North's probably king of spades, will be left isolated. He won't be able to make it. Okay, so a small spade is led, the jack wins, the queen wins, but you then win the ace on the third round. So let's see that third round of spades. Okay, he puts the king on, that's fine. There's only one spade left and you are hoping that it's not with the ace of hearts. You've done your best. Okay, you are excommunicating as it were, the opponents. Okay, I'm making up words here. Okay, and of course when you do play a heart, South cannot do anything about it. He wins the ace at whatever time, but you've made your tricks. It was hard work. You started with 2, you've won your top tricks so far. That's all you've managed. But when you knock out the ace, you will then have the queen and jack of hearts, the king and queen of diamonds, and the 8 of clubs. Okay? So hard work, and I'm afraid one no trump often is, but you've just sometimes got to reevaluate throughout the hand. And of course, don't forget, sometimes you're aiming just for 6 tricks. One no trump -1 can be a wonderful score. As well, I'm sure, again, that may be something that will come up in the coming weeks. We'll see. Okay, and as I said, South wins the ace of hearts at any point, but he can't lead a spade. Okay, so there's the full hand. Now, could there have been better defence? Now, let's talk about this term double dummy. If you were looking at the idea of double dummy here, the defence would manage to play spades before playing their clubs. So for example, the king of clubs is led, you've won the ace. Maybe South wins his ace of diamonds and switches to the queen of spades. That is not an easy play, okay, but he might do it. And if it was ducked, he leads the jack of spades, etc. Later on, when he gets the ace of hearts, he's able to lead a club to his partner's winners and thing. But I have to say, that's another seminar, and I'm not sure it will be coming from me, because that's really tough defence. Okay, but the idea, what I do say, I mean, I often do this seminar on one no trump with another one on defence, and the key thing when you're defending against one no trump is 2 suits. Against 3 no trumps, you establish your hearts, let's say, you take them down. Against 1 no trump, you establish 1 suit. You haven't done enough. You've got to make 7 tricks. So quite often you should be thinking about 2 suits. And here, if you do manage to do that, not easy as I say, but if South wins his ace of diamonds and switches straight to spades, they might manage to take you down because you won't be able to cut them off from each other. They could make 3 spades, 2 clubs, and 2 aces. Okay, I think Steve Bailey's trying to confuse you there by bringing another rule in, but absolutely, if you're worried about a different length of suit, you can create another rule, but if you create too many rules, you'll be worried about the rule of rules, as it were. Okay, all right, let's have a lock. What I do, just to explain, I don't use a rule, I always imagine the cards that I'm worried about. So if I'm worried about a 5-card suit, I put 5 in one hand, add up my cards, 3 and 2, let's say. 5 plus 5 is 10, that leaves 3. If I'm worried about 4, etc, etc. Okay, now I know that's a bit of arithmetic, but some of us like arithmetic, so I enjoy. Okay, that's the little bit of seminar there. Let's have a little look at the quiz. We'll be coming back to that topic, of course, in a moment, so don't worry. So this one, really, there's not too much to say. Understand that you are non-vulnerable against vulnerable. You were West. Someone did think you were vulnerable. If you were vulnerable against not, you might open something different here. But at non-vulnerable against vulnerable, you should be opening 4 spades here. Okay, in some ways, at good vulnerability, with 6 cards, you can open a weak 2. With 7, you generally open a weak 3. And with 8, you would open a weak 4. Okay, now, at non-vulnerable, they are weak 4s. They're preemptive bids. Because imagine, you've got 8 of them. Imagine, now I'll give you your partner's hand. Let me give you your partner's hand here. Now, I've made the spade suit quite small there to fit it in. Your partner's got 2 spades here. That's 10 between you. Imagine the opponents have a void. You won't even make a trick. So you're expecting to make maybe as many as 8 tricks or 7 tricks from your own hand in spades, but you might make 0 and certainly no more than 1 against their suit. And whenever you have that huge disparity, bid high and fast. Because if you let them in the auction, they will find their fit and they can compete. Okay? All right, they can compete. I'm not sure what Camilla's asking about, but week 2s are with 6 cards, week 3s are with 7 cards, and week 4s are with 8 cards. I'm not sure if that's what she's after, but and the idea is I'm getting in the way. So here, the other element is your partner doesn't know you've got 8 tricks. So your partner here, most of the time you'll make 8 spade tricks. If your partner's got 2 of them, he's never going to bid 4 spades, and yet 4 spades is often going to make. You'll make a heart, a diamond, and 8 spade tricks. Not only that, your opponent's going to be doing pretty well in a contract as well. Imagine they play in 5 clubs or 4 hearts. If South has the ace of hearts, I think they might make 4 hearts. So they'll only go 1 off in 5 hearts. And if one of them has a void, they may well make 5. Okay? They may well make 5. Okay? So okay, you might go off in 4 spades, but it'll be a good score. So 4 spades is a great bid. Sometimes you're doing it as a sacrifice, sometimes you're going to make. But what you're really saying is, partner, I've got a weakish hand. Now change the vulnerability around. Change the vulnerability about. If you are vulnerable against not, now you've got to be a little bit more careful. Okay, you've got to be a little bit more careful, because there will be times where you go a couple off vulnerable and that might be too much. Although I have to say, with 8 good spades, it's still tempting to do it. Okay, still tempting to do it. Okay, so I'm hoping that was okay with you. It's good fun preempting at high levels as well. It doesn't always work. Some of you will have seen me playing in the teams on last Friday, and it certainly didn't work for me there, but it's good fun. Okay, what else have I got? Well, we're going to look at another quiz. Let me just mention those DVDs again. This is the offer of the week, as it were. Bernard Magee's set 7. So that's set 7 of the DVDs at £59. You can order that from the office, mrbridge.co.uk. And more signalling, that's a tricky one, I must say. A bit more taking signalling another step. 4-4-4-1 hands are love to hate and hate to love hands. Drawing trumps, a nice straightforward declarer one. 5 card majors for those of you who want to see it or learn it or be able to defend it. Fundamentals of defence, something I'm hoping we might have a little look at here. It's a great topic. That really enjoy that. And supporting minors, which for some of you might want to look at inverted minors and that kind of thing. So let's look at the next quiz. Again, I'll try to show you the vulnerability here. Someone's asking how you see it on any computer system, to be honest, whether it's bridge-based or computer. You're looking for red. There'll be a red label sometimes or a white label sometimes. Okay, and I'll show you that on Q+ here, and you'll see what I mean. So here's this Friday's quiz, and it's 1 spade from your partner, who is East. And someone's asking whether set 6 are available. They are available as well. Okay, set 6 are. 1 spade from East, pass, and it's your bid. So it's 1 spade from your partner, 1 spade from your partner, pass from South, and it is your bid. The vulnerability is love all. So it's 1 spade pass, and it's your bid. Okay, so let's do a little bit of revision then. Let's test you. So we're going to look at a Q+ hand here. Going to look at a Q+ hand. I will quickly bid it through. This is very straightforward bidding. South's opening the bidding. We're not really thinking about the bidding too much here. Okay, all right, here South is going to open 1 no trump. It's a weak no trump for those of you who aren't familiar. And North, although it has a very strong hand, is going to just bid 3 no trumps. He's got nothing in the majors. So nice and straightforward auction. As you've probably guessed, the play is the thing. So you win 3 no trumps, and the lead is the 4 of spades. You've got a plan to make, but I don't like playing early from dummy, but just to make things so that we know how the first trick is going to start, I'm just playing the 6 of spades from dummy there. Okay, so I want you to try and count your tricks. It can be quite tricky to see it on the screen there. but hopefully that's clear enough to you. I've made a number of people ask for suggestions, so we've got black, red, for example, and you'll notice that the play of the hand on this one, I've got the cards coming in more slowly as if they're being played. So you've got all sorts of option on Q+. Perhaps in the future I will do a couple of sort of seminars, you know, not live ones, but on Q+ for those of you who want to see how it works, okay? How it works, okay? All right, so have a look. You hopefully have got 8 top tricks there. I'm hoping you've got 8 top tricks. You can make another one from diamonds. I'm hoping you're happy with that. So you've got another one in diamonds, and all I want you to do is decide what you're going to do at trick 1. Okay, so I want you to decide what you're going to do at trick 1. Now, so I'm going to give you a little bit longer on that hand, and I want you to decide basically what you're going to do at trick 1. Okay, I hope you're happy with that. I'm now going to this next hand. Okay, now I'm going to just bid this one quickly. I'm not really interested in the bidding. You'll notice that the hand is very similar, but I'm testing you here because I want to make sure that you understand what we're doing. So it goes 1 diamond here. I'm going to put 3 diamonds, okay, and then I'll put pass. Oh no, I'm not being passed. I have to do that now. Oh, what's happened? Ooh, I've under. Sorry, I have to restart that. Made a mess of that. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay. Okay, come on. Lovely. Okay. So there we go. So we're in 3 no trumps again. I'm not worried about the auction, so please don't worry about that. Okay, what I want you now to do is make the plan on this one. Okay, so it's a very, very similar hand, and I'm hoping you're happy that you're in a very similar situation. You've got exactly the same holding in spades, haven't you? You've got ace jack X against small, small. Okay, and what we said, now I'm trying to think when this is, let's have a think. What are we, Wednesday now? I think it might have been Friday last week. That's my guess. Okay, Friday last week, possibly, when there was a hand where we had the ace and jack. Okay, and we found out that actually that jack can be worth something. If I kill the queen with my ace, the jack has some power. So I think I've got 2 choices here. I think I've got 2 choices here. I can choose to duck the queen of spades twice, use the rule of 7, as we've mentioned. Okay, so I could duck twice on these 2 hands. The other option is to win the ace of spades. Okay, I've got no idea what this fellow is saying. I think someone might have to block him. He's saying some strange things about gaming. I've got no idea, but anyway. So you've got a choice. And what I'm hoping you've understood, and a number of people are saying this, our plan is to take a diamond finesse. Is everybody happy with that? You've got 8 top tricks. You can definitely make an extra one by playing diamonds. You could play the ace and king and play another diamond. Okay, all right, but you're not going to. We're going to take a diamond finesse. And the beauty of a finesse is it can only lose to one person. So the jack of diamonds is led, okay? If East has the queen, okay, if East has the queen, he can't win it. Because if he plays it, we'll kill it, and we are going to run the jack of diamonds. Is everybody happy with that? So I don't think East is going to get the lead here. The only player that will get the lead is West. And that is what we're going to base our choice about. Because if West gets the lead, well, there's no point ducking twice, is there? Because I think West has got 5 spades, or the long spades. So if we duck twice, we give him that he gets the lead with the queen, he still makes his spades. However, what we said is if we win the ace of spades first, okay, then when West gets the lead, I'm going to open up the hands so you can see what I mean. So let's open up all the hands, okay. So there you can see. If East had had the lead, remember, we can't lose to him. So the only person we can lose to is West. So we would cross over to dummy. I mean, you might have played the ace of clubs off first then. Sorry, ace of diamonds off first. Pretend I did. Okay. Lead the jack of diamonds. And that loses to the queen. But of course now, what can West do? What can West do? If he plays a spade, we make the jack. Now, actually, Q plus has done well here. They've led a club back here. What's going on here? Don't know what's going on there. Okay, so if they lead a spade back, we would actually make the jack of spades. Can you see? But they've led a club, which is fine. But we've established our extra trick. Can everybody see that? I'm not going to play it through. I can win my king of clubs. Remember, you can't duck, because then East gets the lead and leads a spade through. Can you see? Okay, so I'd win the king of clubs, but we counted 8 top tricks, and now we've got those 3 diamonds. All right. So let me just go back to the first hand. So I hope everybody's happy. We've made our tricks. Okay, there. Just to explain, 3 heart tricks, the king of clubs, and we've got 3 more diamond tricks as well. Okay, I think I've got to press the button F3. There we go. Okay, now that takes us to the one before. And on this one, the diamond suit was the other way round. Can you see that? So this time, okay, I'm not going to play through it again, but this time when you lead the jack of diamonds, it's only East who can get the lead. Can you see that? So it's no good taking the ace on the first round, because if East gets the lead, he would just play a spade through my jack. Okay. So what we need here then, okay, is to hold up twice. Can everybody see that? So it's very subtle, but when you've got the jack, you have choices. Not if it's a doubleton or singleton, of course, but when you've got it to a number, here, the ace kills the queen, I can duck. I can quickly go through that. We might as well. So I'll just quickly go through this auction and get going, because I've gone back to the first hand. That's what's happening for those of you. And I'm now going to play all the cards as well. Okay, so we got the 4 of spades lead. Let me just see if we do the same thing as the last hand. Okay, if we won the ace, oops, that wouldn't work. Jack of diamonds lead, loses to the queen, a spade switch. Ah, my jack's going to die. Is everybody happy with that? Okay, so that doesn't work. So let's just go back. Okay, 4 of spades lead, spade, and we've decided that East is the only one who can get the lead, so I'm going to duck. And using the rule of 7, we're going to duck twice. So 9 of spades is led, jack, king, 7. Another spade is led. Let's throw a club. We don't need that. We win our ace. Again, you might have taken the ace of diamonds first, but let's pretend we didn't. Okay, you lose, but East has no spades left. So someone mentioned talking about avoidance play. This is a classic avoidance play, as it were, where I'm just going to claim that 10 tricks. I've claimed 10 tricks, doesn't matter. That's the full hand. You can see it there. It's very similar to the hand afterwards. The spade layout's exactly the same. All I have changed is the diamond layout. Your diamond finesse could have worked, but it doesn't work. Okay, and can you see we've played the spade suit in a different way? Okay, the first one we ducked twice. This second one we won with the queen with the ace straight away, and it depended on who was going to get the diamond. Okay, that's a tricky one. A tricky one. I hope you got some excitement out of it. All right, let me just have a quick look at this slide here. Okay, the question about alerting. Okay, alerting. And of course, in this new world of playing online a lot, how do you alert? Well, essentially, most places want you to self-alert. And what that means is you alert your own bid, but you don't tell your partner. So there's a number of ways of doing that. You double click on a suit, You double click on your bid, sorry, if you've bid it, and put the meaning. Now your partner does not see that. The other way of doing it is by sending a message to your opponents only. And that is what the partner of the bidder should do. The partner of the bidder should send a message to his opponents only to say, by the way, that bid is Stayman, or that bid means clubs, or whatever it is you're doing. Okay, and how do you do that? Well, you'll see you've got a chat box there. If you just click on, it might say table originally, I think. You click on it, it gives you a set of options. When I have been playing on Friday, the most common option I've been using is kibitzers, or those watching, and I've been talking just to the kibitzers. If you press table, you talk to the people at the table. If you talk to opponents, you talk to them, etc. And you can choose individual people. Okay, and so the idea is, interestingly, this is the way alerting works when you play international bridge, because they have a screen across the table. So you can't see your partner and you can't see one of your opponents. So when you make an alertable bid, you actually alert your right-hand opponent. Okay, or left-hand opponent, depends on where you're playing. But the person who's on your side of the screen, your partner should be doing it on the other side. Okay, and so it's an odd thing, but it actually is a better way of doing things, because actually in real life, what happens is when you alert, and you say it means, your partner says it means something, it's usually the partner of the bidder, don't forget. Well then, of course, if you think it means something different, you've heard. Whereas online, you don't see the message you send to your opponents, so they will know you'll have had a misunderstanding, but you won't. Okay, and that's of course a better way of things happening. Okay, so fiddle around with that in a casual game, and you can do that self-alert and just make sure it's going all right. Okay, all right, but that's alerting in online bridge. Okay, let me see if I know what I'm doing here. Okay, have a look at this one. To finish with this hand, this was sent in by one of the listeners. It's an interesting one, and it's a topic we might have a look at. But it's not an easy one. Okay, so let's look at this. We're going to have an alert on it, which is good. So south bid a spade, and west overcalled 2 spades. So south bid a spade, west overcalled 2 spades. If you look in the middle of the table, I hope you can see that there are some red arrows pointing to east-west and white arrows pointing to north-south. Okay, that says that east-west are vulnerable, north-south are not. You can just about see that in the top right-hand corner. We've chopped a bit of it off, but it does say the vulnerability there as well. Okay, so 2 spades is alerted. Now they're playing what's called Michaels. That shows hearts and another suit. What would you bid with the north hand? Well, the north hand in question bid 4 spades, and I think 4 spades is a good bid, particularly at the vulnerability. It's a good aggressive bid. Those of you who count the losing tricks, I hope, would be happy with that as well. Now, east bid 5 hearts. And that's an aggressive bid. At the vulnerability, you're vulnerable against not, but it's such a beautiful distributional hand. I've got sympathy with it. Okay, your partner should have a pretty decent hand for a vulnerable against not 2-seated overcall. Okay, so 2 spades shows 2 suits, shows heart and another suit, at least 5 in both. Okay, so it's now south's bid. What do you fancy? Now at the table, south doubled, which is not a good bid. Okay, south should not be doubling. Okay, you only double in auctions like this if you think you can get the contract down. Okay, now south should not be thinking he has any more than 1 spade trick. That's so crucial. When your bidding goes 1 spade and your partner jumps to 4, you're not really expecting to make more than 1 spade trick between you. And if the opponent's bid at this vulnerability, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a void. Okay, you've got a relatively flattish hand. You've got 2 doubletons. I hate those doubletons. The queen of hearts is useless, so I expect to make 2 tricks. But I'm hopeful of getting 5 hearts down, so I'm definitely not bidding 5 spades. I'm not bidding 5 spades and I'm not doubling. Okay, what I'm really doing is saying, partner, I'm going to pass. Partner, I don't know what to do. Okay, I can't double because I'm not sure that 5 hearts is going down. And I can't bid 5 spades because I'm certainly not sure that's going to make. And I think 5 hearts might go down. So this is complicated. The 5 level always is. The experts use the expression, the 5 level is for mugs. Okay. Now, North, I don't mind what North does. He's got a choice of 2 bids here. I think probably 5 spades is the best bid. If you think it's a forcing par situation, which I'm not going to talk about here, you would have to do something. But I would think it's a choice between pass and 5 spades. If my partner can't double 5 hearts, I think they might make it, so I might be tempted. I might be tempted to bid 5 spades. At the vulnerability, it's certainly not going to cost me many points. Playing teams, 5 spades, I think is relatively straightforward. If both contracts go down, I don't mind. Playing pairs, it's a very close call. But I would bid 5 spades, and let's assume one of the opponents is probably going to double us in that. Okay, and that would be the end of that. But the key is don't double with the South hand. What happened at the table was that South doubled 5 hearts, and as you can see, 5 hearts is a very comfortable contract. Okay, they'll make quite comfortably. When you have auctions like this, it's not that much of a surprise that you've got singletons all over the place. Do bear that in mind. Okay, do bear in mind it's not that much of a surprise. In 5 spades, I think the defenders should manage to get 4 tricks. They should get a ruff. They should get the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts, a ruff of a club, and a diamond trick, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, you still will lose a diamond trick. But 2 off non-vulnerable doubled is just 300 points, as opposed to 5 hearts doubled or 5 hearts making. Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, so I hope that was some fun, that one. Let's just quickly... Oh, God, another person advertising there. Whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I suppose that's what happens with these things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. We've been talking about declare play for some time, so we may change it up. Don't forget, Friday, we are starting, it's just been said, I think, from Will there. We're going to start at 11:15. It's VE Day celebrations, 11:15 start. I'm not going to be playing bridge on Friday night. I'm going to be doing some social distancing. Okay, social distancing. You know, partying outside with a glass of wine. But we will be back next Friday, and I hope to do that with some chat as well. So rather than just doing the typing, maybe have some chat. All right, well, enjoy the weather, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you a little later on Friday. Thank you very much.